coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough, Tobago. In this segment, we are chatting with Ricardo Phillip, and Ricardo is the political leader of the Class Action Reform Movement. And this morning, we're speaking about a new political party in Tobago. Good morning to you, and
Good
welcome.
morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you for having me again. It's always a pleasure to be here.
All right. So we're diving into the discussion. We recently had the launch of the Tobago People's Party. And, we like to get perspectives here on the Tobago Updates, a morning show. Your thoughts in terms of the general sense of direction. Some people see a new political party. Some say not necessarily new. It's a transition from a grouping that existed previously under the PDP, along with where there may be supporters that have followed. Your thoughts?
Well, I look for more new political philosophy. And I think when you hear new political party in Trinidad and Tobago, you really hear a manifestation of the same thing over and over. This new party is not far from the PDP original philosophy, which is not far from the PNM philosophy. All of them have learned politics from the PNM. And so there is no new philosophy, new political party, meaning what? Is it a sense of betterment for the people of Trinidad and Tobago in this case? No, absolutely not. And so I am not, taken aback. I'm not moved by the new idea for a new political party with new colors and all that stuff. That means nothing in the whole scheme of the challenges that we face in Trinidad and Tobago. I think what we need and what the people of the whole new political party do is a new philosophy, a new concept, a new way forward. How do we treat with the challenges that we face as a people? How do we treat with the challenges that we face as a people in Tobago, and not such as a new political party? Because it's all well and good to form a political party. That's your right to do so. But when we look at in terms of the philosophy and the way forward, it's the same thing over and over. And I'm not sure where we're going with this.
Would you say that they are positioned to be able to make that change that you're suggesting on the basis that the Tobago People's Party and the individuals at the helm are currently in government within the Tobago House of Assembly? They form the current administration?
I think they misinterpret the mandate of the people. I think they miss it very far. Because, you in office, and I've said this before and I'm going to say it again, this administration is delusional and dangerous to the development of the people of Tobago. Because one is expect and suspect that the people who supported you, who left the PNM, who discarded the PNM, was in one for a better position, one for betterment for themselves, economically and socially speaking. And when you get into power, what do? I mean, by now we should have a sense of direction where this island is going. But the direction in which these guys want to take this island is not the mandate of the people. It's not the mandate, certainly not the mandate of the people. So you in there now following your own philosophy, your own definition of where we're supposed to go. And in truth and in fact, the main issue, the one that the people entrusted on you, is not being cared for.
What would you say that main issue is?
Well, economic development and betterment, because Tobago has struggled over the years for economic betterment, opportunities and so on. And you have to now create these opportunities in Tobago so that businesses and young people and all the different sectors can prosper. And that is basically what we expect in Tobago. So when people left the PNM after 21 years of nothingness, you come into a new political party, a new administration with the hope that this would take us into that place. And you say, you're going to fix it. And that's your main mantra. Take us into that place of real development, real economic development and opportunities. Because in my understanding, my observation over the years, the people of Tobago are ambitious too and want betterment for themselves and their children. And we don't want to have to be, every little thing is an economic challenge for us here. Lack of opportunities and lack of sustainable opportunities and so on. What we want to see happen on the island is serious and profound economic development, so that the people of Tobago, in the midst of their ambitions and their desires and their hopes, can access these things. We're struggling too much in Tobago.
Some would say, politicians tend to give these nice glowing words. From where you sit, Ricardo, as political leader of the Class Action Reform Movement, what would be one of the actions that you would do differently? Had you been a part of the leading the current administration?
Well, I don't see myself in that kind of politics, because my party, let me tell you where I stand. the first thing you have to do is educate the populace. The people of Trinidad and Tobago, and in Tobago in this case, have to be educated in terms of what their role are, and what ought to be done as far as the development of Tobago is concerned. First and foremost, the notion that you're going to get into politics and you think you have the answers to the problem of Tobago, then that's a misstep at the get-go. So what I would have done is engage the people on the island, engage a sense of what their interests are, what's most on their minds, and then you take it from there. The idea that you can solve all the problems on your own is a fundamental flaw as far as political party and politics is concerned. So people want the general understanding is that you want economic development, yes. So how do you chart that course? What direction do you take? You need the people's support. You need the people understanding the definition of what that entails before you start making those kind of moves.
But what would you say for those who are responding to indicate that this is the mandate that the district meetings are meeting, where you are able to go out and you're able to hear from the people
That's
directly as one of the forms being used by this current administration to meet that same mandate that you identify? How do you respond to that?
We were seeing this before. I mean, these town meetings, I mean, political parties in the past, and the PNM have done it, to use these town meetings to sort of gauge, how people think about them, how people see them, and so on, and not necessarily, because if you're talking about economic development, you're talking about development of the people, that's not the platform for that. This is really a political meeting. You're trying to gauge what kind of support you have on the ground.
No, I was going based on the fact that you had indicated if it were you there, it would be consulting with the people. So I was making the reference to the method being currently used. Does that meet the satisfaction, or if not, detail further for us? Your ideal with connecting with the people.
This would have happened before the election. I don't understand the question, but this would have happened before the election when in your campaign. You see, the pathway you take to governance is what going to determine how you're going to govern. The pathway that you take will determine how you govern. And the PDP did not do anything different from the PNM in terms of the promises. And we're going to fix this and vote for us and be better than them and so on. So it's not surprising that the level of failure that you will experience, that they will experience, is going to be what it is. So what I would have done in your campaign is, regardless of your political affiliation, regardless of your religious persuasion, regardless of your what other philosophy, your race and what have you, you need to have, especially in a small island like Tobago, you need to have everybody on board. That is what you want. You want to cross all those, break down those barriers and so on, and bring people together to determine the future of the economic development of Tobago. And even if you have won the election, based on the whole structure of the political system and political party structure, you still want to do that by crossing over and treating with those issues and bringing people together.
But is that ever a real practical approach? Politicians always speak of that. When you win and when you get in, you put down your colors and you put down everything and you are here to govern for the island. But is it really practical to expect to connect with the views and perspectives of all, or there will be those fundamental ones that will just not follow your philosophy because they do not support you in leadership?
Well, party politics dictates how the thing go. And that's why I'm saying party politics is a dangerous, the way we do party politics in Trinidad and Tobago is very dangerous. And of course, the manifestation of it is divisive. The manifestation of it is selfish. The manifestation of it is to exclude and to eliminate and so on. So when you look at how our politics is structured, yes, that's how that works. But when you understand party politics is just the vehicle to get to the election and so on, then you are able to transcend from that and treat with the things that you're supposed to. But in our case, the party politics, I mean, people told the people would support wrongdoing based on party politics.
All right, and that comes back to the connection, and that's a whole other story by itself with the Westminster system and how things work. Before you go,
it's not so much about the Westminster system so much, but it's about our own integrity, building our own, having our own capacity. More importantly, I think the people themselves who have allowed this to happen to perpetuate over a period of time, not understanding their role and responsibility. Understand what I'm saying? The first thing I said is that any aspiring politician now have to engage in a process of educating the populace in terms of what your responsibilities are and how do you keep me in check. And that's a failing of our party. This really has little to do with the Westminster system, even though that is an issue that we have to treat with generally. But the integrity in terms of what do you do, especially when you meet a people who are desperate and people who have suffered long, how do you treat with that?
All right. We want to get from you very quickly before we close this morning future prospects for the class action reform movement, your political party.
Well, there's only one mission at a time. And I think this is the most fundamental mission, and that is to continue to treat with the truth and to bring that sense of balance and understanding that the extremities doesn't work. This country needs serious help. It's like you have a disease and trying to fix yourself. And you with all the experience and with all the expertise, you're trying to solve your own problem. And I'm saying here that we have to sit down and think, and the people have to engage in this. This is not a political party solution issue. Political party cannot solve the problem of Trinidad and Tobago. The people have to understand, first get involved in terms of understanding what their role and responsibilities are, and then treat accordingly. Political party can't fix it.
All right. Thank you very much there, Ricardo Phillips, political leader of the Class Action Reform Movement. Thank you so much for joining us here on set this morning. Viewers, we want to thank you for the continued love and support. It's Friday morning. It's Friday. A quick shout out in the mix. We see Julia Brown Travis on the live this morning. Cyril in the mix with us. Yolanda, Danielle, Terry Trinidad, Lucretia Williams, Liebert, Jack, Brian Jordan, Naomi Archie, Donil Vincent, Tintin Jack, Maxine Lyons. Good morning to each and every one of you continuing to connect with us here on the Tobago Updates Morning Show. We want to thank you so much for continuing to choose the Tobago Updates Morning Show, and to remind you that this is your opportunity to share the live, share the live, share the live.